So I was reading an article the other day. It was called Broke, Armed, Bored, Seeds of Gang Violence. And it was essentially about one gang member named Chaos from Chicago. And it was just chronicling one weekend of a shooting that they had where one of his boys got shot. And essentially as I'm reading this, as the title went, Broke, Armed, and Bored, I started reminiscing more and more about my childhood and how boring things were and how things could have been differently if I didn't have the parents I have and the outside influences I did have. And one of the interesting things about this article, when the guy was talking, or when they were writing it, was the guy Chaos, right? So he had a couple charges as a kid, right? I think he said a couple charges. His first charge was attempted murder, right? Gang-related crimes. And then as he got older, when he no longer was juvenile, he had about 4 gun charges, right? So those things inherently so hinder your ability to get a job. But in return, him being hindered of getting a job didn't allow him to get himself out of the situation he was in. Because he got his GED when he was in prison, and he got training in culinary arts. So, now he's trying to do better for himself, but there's nothing to do for himself. And the one thing that was directly stated by him and his friends was that we're bored, we don't have any money, we have some guns, we're gonna have some fun. And that kind of thing really had me thinking, like how could things been different if when I was a child, instead of going to Jan's tutor house, I was out ripping running the streets with my cousins, Like I have cousins now that are in jail, in prison for a long time. And it just really makes me wonder if my parents didn't tell me, I couldn't go outside and hang out, or I wasn't allowed to do this, how things could have been different. So as I was reading the article, reading it through, it was a New York Times article, by the way. As I was reading the article, one of the guys, he worked at a shoe store, right? And the train station he needed to get off at was in rival gang territory. So he didn't get off at that train station because he didn't want the beef that would go along with that. So he got off at the next train station. And as he was walking to his train station, he was shot. Right? He was shot in the back by a guy that he had no clue who he was. So I was thinking, like, this guy's trying to do better for himself, right? He has a job, not a high-paying job, but he couldn't make it work. And look back to the guy Chaos, it was the same deal. He got a job as a pastry chef, making pastries for international flights. But he couldn't afford the gas in his car to go back and forth, to the job. And once he realized he wasn't going to get paid until like 3 weeks after, when you get a job, you don't get paid that first week or the second week. They usually keep one check in retro. And once he realized he wasn't going to get paid for that, he quit after 3 days because he just couldn't afford to go to work. And he said, one of the things is you can't, you couldn't ask anybody else in the neighborhood for money because everybody's haggling over a dollar. Right? I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen crackheads trying to haggle down the price of crack $2 because they don't have the full 10, they only have 8. So it's like in a neighborhood like that where no one has themselves together financially, how can you get yourself out without the assistance and help of another? Right? And then back to the one guy with the train station, right? He said the reason why he got into gangbanging because when he was little, his father was a member of a gang. And when he was little, he was praised by his father and his father's friends for knowing the gang handshake, right? Being able to do the handshake and do the back and forth and stuff. And that really, hit home to me because I did a video a while ago about what a person tells you or what you're told as a child that you're great at is what you believe you're great at, right? And that's what you strive to be and continue to try and be. And seeing that this guy literally was told at a young age that he was good at doing gang-related activities, that's what he did, right? And then I started thinking more, right? I was thinking, okay, well, the absence of parents, what happens when you have the absence of parents? Because this dude, he had his father, right? His father and his father in a strange relationship, but he had his father. So after he got shot, he had his own child. So after he got shot, he tried to mend relationships with his father a bit more, which was a powerful thing because he didn't want his child to, worry or grow up the same way he grew up. And then I was thinking, I was watching on Facebook, there was a quick little 50-minute clip of Denzel Washington about a new movie he has out. I can't remember what the title was, but one of the things that the guy asked him, was about the struggle in the movie, and Denzel pretty much told him, you have to be a man. Whatever, your father instills into the son the pain, right? The son carries the pain of the father, so the son needs to now pass on to his son none of that pain, right? It's like how he has to, you need to make things better for your child as time goes on. So then I started thinking, like, okay, what is the absence of a father figure, a mother figure, and not even just the absence of a mother and father figure, a strong, supportive mother and father figure have to do with a person growing up. And I was thinking, it popped in my head, Players Club. Right? I don't know if you all have ever seen Players Club, but it was about strippers. And the one girl, she wanted to go to school, right? But her father said he wasn't going to pay for her schooling, so she had to do it on her own, right? And so she had to do it on her own. She resorted to a job that made a lot of money in a short amount of time, that required no skills or anything like that. And she became a stripper. Hey, stop. She became a stripper. And it just made me wonder, like, how many strippers and drug dealers today would still be strippers and drug dealers if they had support from their community in a positive way, from their parents in a positive way. How would things be different if you had the support necessary to grow? How would you change? What would be different about a person's life? What would be different about your life? What would be different about my life? It really makes me wonder what happens, in a neighborhood. Because I didn't have that. Like, everyone in my neighborhood seemed to uplift me. A lot of them drank and a lot of them smoked, but they always uplifted me for some reason. I guess my mother was a very good spokesperson for me. But I really do wonder what would have happened, if I grew up differently, if I grew up 2 blocks down the street with a different set of parents or a different set of neighbors. How would things have changed, And it really bothers me when I read things or see things about people where whatever they're going through now is something they wouldn't have had to go through if they literally had someone telling them in their corner, I believe in you, that I will fight with you, I will change the world with you. How could that be different? Because having support from people, to me, is an amazing thing. Like, I enjoy doing things alone. I enjoy being able to say I did this on my own. But I realize that that's a very flawed thought process, a very flawed, egotistical type of, process. Because I need people, right? Everyone needs people. And that's one thing I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, another thing I was thinking about today was this world is run by blue-collar workers, right? The world operates on blue-collar workers. Yet the white-collar workers, treat the blue-collar workers as if they're nothing, right? Like, where do people get this sense of entitlement and empowerment when they haven't uplifted anyone, yet they really feel the need to push down everyone? It's like high school bullying. Like, the bully hasn't uplifted anybody. The public kid hasn't uplifted anybody. But they spent their entire time pushing people down. And then wonder when people don't like them. Like, wonder when people dislike them. Like, why am I hated? Because you hated me, right? And it's like, that can all come from parental, issues. Because if your mother or father treats you badly, you're gonna, in turn, treat other people badly, right? And like, this is the holiday season, so a lot of people really try to focus on family this time of year. And to me, that's flawed, because if you're not focused on family the other 364 days of the year, why are you only focusing on family this one period? It's either you're faking it, or you understand the lack of strength that you had when it comes to your family. And I'm not really sure what to make of it, because a lot of people don't have their mothers and fathers, and they would gladly trade places with anybody that has a mother and father. And it's really interesting to me that people take advantage of what they have, but not in a good way, right? Like, one of used to say as a kid, I need to take advantage of they need to take advantage of, my limbs, right? Like if I was sitting in the house not doing anything, I need to take advantage of my limbs because someone else would gladly trade places with me without limbs, you know? Yeah, Vince, tradition is, I think it's a fake thing. Like this whole thing we have going on here is fake. You know, it's a fake facade. It's a mask, it's like you act as if your family is the most important thing in the world to you. Starting around Thanksgiving, what am I thankful for? So everybody guys together and have these family dinners and stuff. Why is this not happening on a more frequent basis? Why aren't you all having dinners together or cookouts together throughout the year? Now, of course, some do, and that's amazing. But a lot don't. They only see each other once or twice a year. Christmas and Thanksgiving. It's like, can you truly say you're thankful to have this person in your life if you don't even know that person? And I always found that interesting. Like, how does that happen? Because for me, I wasn't really big in the family growing up. And if you know me personally, you know that to be true. I'm more of an introvert. I enjoy being alone. But I also dislike it, But it's like, how can I truly say I love my family if I don't hang out with them enough to know what I love and don't love about them, It's like I'm fortunate enough to have them around, but I keep them at a distance because, personal fears and desires not to be hurt. And it's just weird, It's really weird the way things work out in this world and how people take things for granted that other people would. Well, I mean, not even take for granted. How some people don't take for granted what they have, right? Like if you have something, you need to take it and keep it and use it up. Use it until you can't use it anymore. Instead of just turning it aside because it's not what you really wanted. So I don't know. That was my thing. I was thinking about that video, or the news article I was reading, and then the strippers and everything. I just really wonder how many would lead a different life if they were, given all the support they needed. Like if you were given all the tools you needed to complete any job in the world, what would you create? Right? And then it's like if you only had half the tools you need to complete any job in the world, now you're limited to what you can create. So what will you create then? If you're given none of the tools, well, damn, what are you gonna do then, man? Yeah. So that's my 2 cents, 3 cents about that. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything, or anything I should think about, because my thought process is not perfect, and I'm always looking to take on different angles. So if you have any angles I should view, I would gladly appreciate it.